Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kunza Joshua Emmanuel, and I'm a student at Victoria University doing a HEC, that is in biological science. And today I'm going to be teaching about the skeletal system, and I hope you enjoy. I would first of all thank you for joining to our YouTube channel, and I would recommend you can share the link to each and everyone so that they can see and also get to learn. And today's topic, we're going to be looking at, as I've said before, skeletal system. And you know that our body is a fundamental animal where like we have a number of systems, and one of them which is so useful is the skeletal system, because you find that without the skeletal system you can't do a lot of things, as we shall be learning down. What do I mean when I talk of the skeletal system? When I talk of the skeletal system, I mean, this is the body's central support framework, which is comprised of the bones, cartilages, ligaments, and so on. And you find that for somebody to stand, one has to have it's fundamental and it's paramount. Without the skeletal system, you can't stand anywhere. And as I've said, like it's made up of the bones, cartilages, ligaments, and tendons. uh, you find that the security system is divided into two, where we have the axial part and the perpendicular part, where we have, say, for the axial, this is made up of the skull, it's made up of the vertebral column, thoracic cavity, and when we move down to the perpendicular skeleton, here where we have the limbs, we can say the lower and upper limbs. Then we have the pectoral, which means like the shoulders and so on. Then we have the hips, which are the pelvic girdles and so on. As you know, let me say it's a framework of bones together, working together in support a number of issues, and you find that these ligaments and tendons and the cartilages give a support where, like for example, in the joints, we have the cartilages and the ligaments also to come in where they join the bone of muscles, the tendons where they join the bone to bones and so on. So for the functions of the skeletal system, one, it is for support, as we said, it's the framework, structure framework, which gives the support to body. And the second one, it's for protection. Like for example, the skull, it protects the brain. The rib cage is like, for example, they protect the heart, the lungs, and so on. And when we move on downwards, we find that if we're not be able to move, one has to have the skeleton and the tendons and so on. And also we can also look at the the bones also play a big role in blood cell production, like in the during hematopoiesis, and that is in the bone marrows, where like the red blood cells are made in the bone marrows and so on. Um, then, as I've said, you can see I'll be listing a number of them. The number of, let me say, for example, if we begin from the top, like the axial part, where we have the skull, and the skull is made up the frontal bone, the nasal bone, parietal bone, zygomatic, the maxillary, mandibular. Then as we move downwards, where we can have also, where we have the, for example, this the collateral vertebrals, the thoracic vertebrals. Then as we move downward, here, like for example, here, as we have a sternum. Then for the limbs, where we have this, the humerus, and under here we have like the ulna and radius. And when we move downwards, like for example, the hips, yeah, and we all know that we have the backbone, and the backbone is made up of number of vertebrals. Like for example, I can speak of the lumbar, yeah, I can speak of the thoracic key, I can speak of the sacrum and the coccyx. Then as we move downwards, we have on the lower limbs, we have the femur, we have the patella, that's the knee, the kneecaps. Then under the legs down, we have the tibia and fibula. And we also move out to the tarsals and metatarsals. And as we will be diving deeper in more and more videos to come. Allow me to say thank you for listening. Stay tuned. I remain Gonza Joshua.